You're listening to 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. All right. Hello, everyone. Devonna Willis here with 419 Education and Training and the Black Massage Therapist Conference. And I have my wonderful coordinator with the Black Massage Therapist Conference, Miss LaToya Hill. She is a very accomplished individual and woman. And I'm going to have her break down all the things that she has going on, including the conference. And I would like to welcome Miss LaToya Hill to the Need to Connect podcast for the Black Massage Therapist Conference. Welcome, Toya.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Again, I am LaToya Hill. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am the owner of Hill and Hands Massage Therapy, which I am kind of transitioning to offer more of a rental space and training programs for other massage therapists. And I also own Healing University that gives people of all backgrounds and all industries a chance to have on-the-job training and business consulting and resources that are available to them to help them be a little more successful in their startup business ventures. I'm also a paralegal, so I dabble in criminal law and real estate law. And then I recently became a columnist for a Black-owned magazine called Who Am I? And the portion or the sister company within that magazine is called Spunk Sports Magazine. It was launched a few years ago, but kind of phased out, but we're revamping it now. And I have 2 pages in there that I'll be talking about all things sports and a few other things that I do, but that's the gist of
When do
most
you
of it.
sleep?
Oh, I get my sleep.
Okay.
I
Okay.
get
As long
all.
as you sleep. Well, like I said, Toya is very accomplished, but we don't want to call her for some legal issues because we don't want you guys to be in any legal issues, especially criminal issues, right? So let's get started. So because Toya's been working with me, we're going to keep it super casual as always. She is the first person that I am interviewing. So this is quite exciting for our new podcast. So bear with me as I get used to doing being a podcaster. And so some of the questions I'm going to be asking is going to be very specific to the conference and what we're doing, but others is just kind of just shooting the conversation because she knows what's going on in the back end because she's the one who I call and text when I'm frustrated. But we won't talk all about all the tea, but we'll talk about some things that we've been dealing with and preparing for the conference. This is a 2-day conference, right? So it's bigger than we had last year, right? And it's also in a different location, bigger hotel. And it's just when you're dealing with a conference, it's a lot in the back end, right? So hopefully, you guys, when you get there, you're gonna be like, "This is amazing," and but you're gonna know that it was a lot to put this together. So first, can you share with us the journey into becoming a massage therapist and what inspired you in this career or to choose this career when you also have other things that you know that you specialize in and went to school for as well?
So initially back in high school, I had an interest in doing massage therapy and skincare, but I kind of felt like that wasn't the path that I was supposed to take because I come from a family of corporate America. So I felt like corporate America is where I needed to be. So I jumped into that world and it was miserable and I didn't like it there. I didn't like, sticking to a 9 to 5. A lot of companies that I worked for had that little point system. And then I was a young mother. So just trying to work that out and being a single mom was just absolutely crazy. So I still didn't revisit the idea of doing massage. So when I went to school, I actually picked up paralegal. I did have an interest in the law. I already had a degree in criminal justice. So why not put the two together and work for a criminal justice law firm? Did that, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I transitioned out of criminal justice into more civil suits and debt collection. And so the organization was terrible. The vibes in the office were terrible. And it just put me in a space where I didn't like working for attorneys. They are very high demanding,
Mm-hmm.
and they get all the credit, they get all the money, and I'm doing all the work. So
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel like that was a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I went to massage school, what really initially pushed me is like, I've been talking about it. I should consider doing it or going back. And then I was torn between whether I want to do aesthetics or massage.
Right.
And at that time, I wasn't aware that you could do both.
Okay.
But then, along the way, I met people that are doing both and they're
Mm-hmm.
excelling at it. And so, when I chose to do massage, it was more so the availability at the time for when I needed to start, financial aid that was offered for me to go to school, and then the time. So it allowed me to go to school after work. But then that kind of, it was a lengthy time. It was 16 months I had to go. So it
So
was a very long
quick
time.
question. So from criminal justice to massage
Mhm.
therapy, were you
Mhm.
getting massages? Like, why massage? Like, were you rubbing
No,
people's
I
shoulders in
wasn't
the
getting.
family, and they're like, "Girl, you good?" Like, how did that
I
happen?
personally was not getting massage. I got
Okay.
one massage one year and it was absolutely horrible. And then like I felt like I could do better. So like people that I dated, I tested it out on them and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, you're so great at this." And um so that's kind of initially what like, well, maybe I should, try to do things. So
Right.
me being a person that I'm not fully committed to it unless I know that I can execute it and pull it off. But then my grandmother, she bought me a massage table, and then it's like, oh
Oh,
my gosh,
before
I
you went to
might have to
school,
actually, yeah. So
grandma
I'm like now,
invested. She's your first investor.
right. So I went ahead and jumped into school, and that's kind of where this journey started.
Okay, all right. So, tell us what challenges that you have faced as a Black massage therapist, and how have you overcome them in this industry?
The lack of support is probably the biggest one. I know they say when you go into business, you should never look at your friends and family to be your support system, but being here in Charlotte alone, it wasn't just about friends and family. It was more
Mm-hmm.
so about the community that I already built
Right,
prior to me starting my own business and looking at them, for referrals, not necessarily for them to support me like out of their own money, just more
right,
so of, hey, can you just refer people, let people know I'm doing this? And that's no money to them. Sharing a post is no money to
right.
them. So that's kind of where I started noticing, like, maybe being in a business isn't something that you kind of get support for. You kind of have
Mm-hmm.
to find it. And then I found myself having to prove myself that I'm somebody that you should definitely refer to, or
Prove
I'm
yourself
out
to your family and friends, or prove
prove
yourself to
myself to those
outside
that I was
people.
looking for referrals from, proving
Got
myself to those that I was looking for as clients.
it. Mm-hmm.
I didn't want just regular clients. I went to school. My whole thought process was around sports massage. So those are the clients I wanted. So
Right,
it's like I had to jump through hoops to try to get to that. I had to constantly prove myself. I had to constantly improve myself, so that I can prove to myself that it's, worth it. And how I overcame it is I stepped outside of their comfort zone. So when I say their comfort zone, the people that were expecting me to not charge them, or the people that were expecting me to charge lower, or the
mm-hmm.
people that were expecting me to fail, the people that were expecting me like to give up because they weren't supporting me or whatever, like once I stopped thinking about, who was or what isn't supporting me, and I came outside of the comfort of them not
Mm-hmm.
wanting me to succeed and stepped into my own little flow of I have to succeed, then that's kind of how I overcame all of that.
All right. We all do, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We still overcoming.
We are.
So that should be one of the songs we should sing at the conference. We
Yes.
shall
Yes.
overcome. Girl, we've been singing that song for a long time, and we still trying to
Mhm.
overcome someday. All right, let me stop. All right, so do you believe being a Black massage therapist impacts your practice and relationship with your clients? So, do you think as a Black therapist, the clients treat you differently, or you have a really better bond with them because of relatability? What's your take on that?
In the beginning, I ran into those little hurdles where people hear of, well, when you go on Google, so on Google, you Google a massage therapist. The first thing that
Mm-hmm.
comes up is a bunch of white people doing massages,
Right,
smiling, whatever.
right.
So my whole concept was when I built my website, I wanted to build it as a Black person giving but receiving massage. So in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I was more focused on Black people getting massage as not just a luxury, but actually a way of taking care of themselves. So me having an advocacy for that particular thing allowed me to connect with Black people in the community that were looking to like work with other Black people that were professional and knowing what they do. But it also kind of hindered me because anybody that wasn't Black that went to my website, they automatically assume like, oh, well, she only works on Black people, so we can't necessarily book with
Mm,
her. And then I came across that thing like, why would you think that? Because if I go to Massage Envy website and see all those white people up, they're not going to assume that they only work
mm,
on white people. So that's kind of like a hurdle that I came with my website in the beginning
mm,
because of the assumption that I only work on Black people. So when I did try to extend myself to diversity within my business, I had to use a friend's PR, and she's a white lady, and she agreed to be like my model for a photo shoot so that I can expand and reach out to different people. So we did this photo shoot, and it was just like, okay, they're still not coming. What in the world,
Really?
So
After that?
yeah, and so I just found that people expect a certain color to charge more
Of course.
than others. So in that sense of it, it's like I was charging too much because of the color of my skin now. So it's like,
Mm,
why are you charging so much? Now, that's a little steep. But then you go to somewhere else, and there's an area here near Charlotte called Lake Norman. And I've met a lot of those therapists at the World Massage Therapist Conference. And so the World Massage Festival, meeting them there and then coming back here, knowing how much they charge and then the type of work that they're giving out. And I'm just like, this doesn't even make sense. You're not even doing a great job, and you're not even offering like a full body massage. You're doing an hour on a back or something like that, and you still haven't addressed the issue. And so it's just crazy how all of that came about. So I stopped worrying about, who I target as clients and
mm,
trying to be diverse. I just more so wanted the clients that did want me.
right.
So I'm focused on wanting who wanted me. So my relationship with the clients that I have is absolutely wonderful because it's like we all have a common denominator in some way, form, or fashion,
Mm-hmm.
and we all have like great conversations. And at the time, I was fully mobile, so going into their houses, meeting their families, and then the professionalism is really what takes you far,
Right.
and then customer service that takes you so far, and then how you interact with their family, their kids, their pets, things like that stick to them, and that's what they remember. So that's how you build the relationships with your clients.
Right. So I find it interesting. So my experience was a little bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously I started before you, and where
Mm-hmm.
I am in Phoenix, the percentage
Mm-hmm.
of Black folks, especially back then, Like, so now, this percentage of black folks in Arizona is pretty much what it is in Phoenix. I mean, in
Mhm.
the whole, what's printing? Oh my goodness, something printing. Sorry. The whole thing is, for 8% of black massage therapists nationally. So right now, that is the city of Phoenix, right? But when I moved out here, going on 15 years ago, which is crazy when I say it out loud, it was like 2%, right?
Mhm.
So you have
Mhm.
2% in the whole city of Phoenix. Then you have the percentage of in the city that I was in was like 0.01%,
Yeah.
right? And so I didn't put my picture on the website for a
Mhm.
long time. And then like when I was getting my website redone, my web guy was like, "Tavana, you got to put your picture on there." And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that." He's like, "Why?" And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this to you. And so, because it's like, I don't know how to explain this part to you, right? And so, for the longest, and
Right.
then finally I did it. But by that time, I had so many, like, back then we used Yelp a lot. Google, we still had Google, but Yelp was like the big one. So,
Mhm.
by that time, my Yelp reviews and different things of that nature was showing that, this place is good. And then also I built my team. But yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't have pictures like nowadays, with social media. I love that
Mhm.
we're able to show what we do and have the pictures because that's something for part of business that I talk about too, having a picture of you doing the massages on different bodies. So I'm happy you were able to do that. But we
Mhm.
didn't have that then, right? We had the stock images and we weren't thinking we weren't thinking about that. And just having
Mhm.
it, under the about us, having your picture
Mhm.
and your bio and all that stuff. So
Right.
I think that's interesting. So being, I call you the sports guru, right? So you worked with a lot of athletes and
Mhm.
athletes became your clientele. And here
Mhm.
at the conference, you are talking about ethics
Mhm.
and sports massage and, dealing with athletes. Do you want to give a little insight on how you transition from just doing mobile massage to just probably like everyday people to getting into the athletic world? And how are you correlating that into what you're teaching at the conference?
So, like I said before, when I first graduated, even before I graduated massage, I knew I wanted to do sports massage. And it was an instructor that kind of pushed me in that direction because he was like my technique and everything. I had much deeper pressure and I was very good at understanding the body. Now, of course, I'm one of those therapists that can't name every muscle in the body, but those superficial muscles that I can physically touch, like I got those. But it's just he monitored me, he watched me, and he was like, you will make a very great sports massage therapist. And he was like, he wished that he could put me on with the Panthers, but one of the instructors there at the time, a white guy, he was working with the Panthers, and we're thinking like it was some kind of big deal, like he was like the massage therapist for the Panthers or whatever. Later on we come to find out that's not what he was, just an employee.
Oh,
So
he was an employee
yeah,
of the Panthers?
he was a massage therapist for the Panthers, yes.
Okay.
But he was an employee, but the way it sounded is like either he was the supervising massage therapist, the lead
Okay.
massage therapist, he was like in a higher role than
Got
what
it.
he actually was.
Got it.
So, but he would never allow anybody to like, he wouldn't talk to anybody about it. If anybody wanted to work, he was like, oh, they're not hiring, and things of that nature. But it was two white guys that he did put on, but that's another story. So so I decided that, okay, well, that's not the route I'm gonna go. When I get out of school, I need to put myself in those positions and meet those people. So networking was a really big thing for me when I first got into massage therapist. I was at any and every network you could ever think about, from Charlotte to Raleigh and back again. So then I started working with this mobile company. It was a black owned company, but she she wasn't really for the black people. She was more so for, people that made her look good. And you would think that people that make another black woman look good is black people doing good. So she had a connection with Thomas Davis, which was a retired NFL player for the Panthers, is here, and he's really big here or whatever. And so he was a sponsor of her company. And so she did the massages, the chair massages for all of his golf tournaments that he had here. Me and this white lady was working that event that day. And every athlete that was going to get on the bus to get, because she had like this little mobile bus or whatever, every athlete that was going to get on the bus was supposed to go to her to get a massage. I guess this was overheard by one of our radio personalities here. So when he gets on the bus, he's like super loud, like, "Where LaToya at? I want to get a massage by LaToya." And I'm looking like, how does he even know me? So that let me know, like, somebody must have said something. So when he came and sat in the chair, he was like, "Yeah, I heard a little exchange about just send all the kids to LaToya and all the athletes to I forgot what the lady name was." And he was like, "I thought that was messed up when I got on the bus, and I knew the other lady name wasn't LaToya." So he was like, he decided to like shout me out and get his massage from me. So um that's when I found out, how backstabbing Charlotte could be. And so after that, that kind of pushed me even harder to do this on my own. So anybody that worked in that space with athletes, their favorite line was, "You got to get in where you fit in." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So that pushed me even further. So once I got to learning different things, learning different people, techniques, other massage modalities, I came across Sports Stretch USA. Didn't know what I was getting myself into with dealing with this company until I got there. And respect is nowhere in this company. Like, the lady that owns it does not give off any type of respect at all. But she knows she has a dope program that is with all the combines, with the Senior Bowl, the Hulu Bowl, it's so many things that she's connected to that are really great opportunities. But it's almost sad that you have to go through her to get to these things, because she does not make it easy for you. And it's like really expensive, and you're out here doing all this free work and you don't get any acknowledgement. You can't network with the people. Like, it's just really crazy. Luckily, I had a stubborn young man that was from Charlotte, and she could not stand him. He could not stand her. He was at Duke University, but he was training in Florida for his pro day. So he was in the combine. When he heard that I was from Charlotte, he came and talked to me, and he only let me massage him during that whole time that I was there. And so then we exchanged numbers, and another gentleman there, we exchanged numbers. But when we got back, like, he wanted to get his massages, and then he introduced me to an NFL player.
Got it.
And it's like, from there, that's all it took, because this guy literally connected to me to almost, I would say, about 70% of the NFL players that I have worked with been connected to one guy.
Wow.
And then that just pushed me to work even harder to see how far I could go with it. And then once I got to that point, it's kind of like how Forrest Gump was just running and running and running, and he got to a point where he stopped and he's like, "It's time to go home now, because I've gone as far as I can go."
Right, right, right. That's a funny analogy. Hopefully, y'all watched Forrest Gump before and know this movie. So that's funny. All right, yeah, but that's life, right? That's business.
Mhm,
It only takes
mhm.
one. You find one good person who
Right,
is going to be your mouthpiece. And I actually just taught about that yesterday at a conference,
right.
right? You find somebody who's going to be your salesperson, if you will, because your
Mhm.
work speak for us. First of all, you have to do good work. So let's
Right,
right? So if you
right.
don't do good
Yeah,
work, if you don't have professionalism, if you don't have all
right,
the things that Toy was just talking about, it's not going to
right,
work out for you. But
right, right.
if you have great work, if you're really professional, whether you're a woman or not, right?
Mm-hmm,
They will respect you that way and it will take you that way. So now that leads for you now because you built that network. Now
mm-hmm,
you are the expert in speaking
mm-hmm.
to our therapists who is coming to the conference, and if they take your ethics class regarding sports, give them just a little snippet of what to expect in your class.
So the whole reason why ethics was important to me is because number one, we got to have an ethics course. Number two is a lot of people want to work with pro athletes. Like everybody want to work with a pro athlete. They're celebrities and they pay great. And all of the hype about working with celebrities and athletes and things of that nature. But then when you get there and it's different, it's stuff you're not used to. You're going into their home or their hotel room and you're not in control of what they're doing in there. So you have to know how to navigate those situations.
Good.
And then you have to know where you stand. A lot of people start working on celebrities or pro athletes and they feel like they're in the same status or on the same level as these people because they work with them, but you're not. So just keeping people humble in this profession and when they're working around people and just knowing the boundaries that you have to set for yourself also with your client, because if you're going to advertise or promote on social media, you have to get permission from these people for one. Some of them will let you take pictures of them, but they won't allow you to tag them. Some don't care, but that's a question that has to be asked. I put it in my intake form and get them to sign off on it to make sure that we're on the same page.
That part.
But usually the ones that let you tag them, they don't really care. They don't mind. They'll reshare it or whatever. But also the biggest thing was Deshaun Watson. So I seen how that whole case went down. And it's like, as a massage therapist, you have a voice. You have a duty, and it is to protect yourself and to protect the client. That situation could have been avoided, but if they were all licensed massage therapists, they would have known this.
That part.
So just the purpose of the ethics class is just avoiding situations that are avoidable and avoiding and trying to maneuver through situations that aren't avoidable is the best way to put it.
It's very important. And we're going to leave it
Yeah,
at that. So take her class. She gave you a little snippet. I'm sure she's going to
yeah,
have a lot of stories to tell in this class. And
yes.
I'm here for it. So thank you for that. So moving on, what advice would you give to an aspiring Black massage therapist who is just starting out in this industry?
Um, the biggest thing is just finding your niche. I know we all want to massage everybody. We want to do everything because we got all these hours for the rest of our career that we got to take and
Right.
different stuff looks good and we want to implement it. That's fine, but find your niche and stick to it because the goal isn't to be the best massage therapist. The goal is to be an expert in the niche that you chose. So you need to understand every aspect of that because that's what's going to help you stay focused, stay on track, and know how to pour out to your market that you're trying to attract. And once you get set in that, then everything else will fall in place. But you have to have a standard for yourself. Like if you want to do lymph drainage and or you want to do women massages only or men massages only or children's massage only or animal massage only, like you need to stick with that and hustle with that, get great at that,
That part.
build your business up with that,
Mhm.
and then you can add on this other stuff that you learned along the way because you had to take a continuing ed class, and you can implement it and put it as an add-on, or you can just put it for specific population that are wanting to work with you, but they don't want that specific thing that you're an expert in or that you specialize in. So just getting people to understand that part is a major deal because a lot of people get out here and it's just, oh, I want to work with celebrities. Oh, I want to work with women only. Oh, I want to do prenatal. Oh, I want to work with, and it's like, okay, you could do all of that, but who are you marketing to?
Right.
Like,
Who is your
you're gonna make
target
it
market?
complicated. Yeah, you're gonna make it complicated for yourself if you're just all over
All
the
over the
place.
place, all over the place, and it's exhausting. I remember I was on a
It is.
call about, and somebody, she wanted, like what you say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, and I'm like, well, Who's your target market? And she was like, huh?
Right.
I want to work with everybody. No, no, that's not it. That's not it, right? You have to have your target market. I always say have your top three,
Yeah.
right? Have
Hmm.
your strong services and just market the heck out of it. And
Yeah. And
be the
don't just
expert.
take one class and say that you're an expert in something. Like, because that's not that's not how it works.
Right. You got to take different, you have to see
Right, right.
different people and how they do different things, right? So, like, we both
Hmm.
teach. I teach sports, I teach lymphatic, right? There's different people who teach lymphatic, but what I teach is different. So, you take a little bit from
Hmm.
me, take a little bit from that
Right,
person, a little bit
right,
from that person. I am, then you like the expert, right? So, you have
right.
different things. Same thing with us. We've taken many classes. I come from the sports medicine, so I definitely took a lot of classes, right? Because that's just
Mhm.
required. But in order for me to say, I know kinesiology, like I know how to look at you like, oh, one shoulder's higher than the other because I love that work and I specialize in that, right? So it's
Mhm.
very important to
Yeah.
dibble in different classes. So I like that you said that. That's
Yes.
important. So you're an innovator, right? So tell me what innovative techniques or approaches that you have taken in your business thus far.
Um, I guess I would say like I try to stick with what's trending. So, because that's going to help you develop marketing strategies, and that's also going to help you develop something that you can do differently within your practice that you're already doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
since I do sports, it only makes sense that I get the latest cups that are out. So, I got the
Right.
electronic cups and
Yes.
using those because you got to work smarter, not harder.
What's the fun
Sports
product
massage,
that you had to do on me? What's that
the
one?
wood.
The fun product you used on me when we saw each other a couple of months
Oh,
ago.
the 8-way cups
We did that one and the Zap.
and the scraper,
Yep.
the microcurrent,
The
microcurrent. Yeah.
microcurrent, right? And
Yes.
so she was telling me about this. So I had knee surgery. And so I was like, all right, Toya, bring your toys when we see each other, right? Because we went to a conference together. I was like, I
Yeah.
want you to use this because I have some big scar
Mhm.
tissue, right? And so
Yes.
I love that, right? Because so she's introducing me to something because I was like, what is it? And so how's it going to help me because I really need this. So for her to
Mhm.
have, so she used the microcurrent along with the cups, and I was like, this
Mhm.
is fun, I love it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's important, right? Stay ahead of the curve, go to conferences. We're not just saying like, so we're both targeting, we're both out here trying to get good vendors for you guys to introduce you
Mhm.
to new modalities and tools
Yeah.
and techniques, right? That's really my goal, right? And Toya, knowing these individuals or these companies that she's been working with, trying to bring those companies into our conference to introduce you to definitely new innovative, because guess what, we are in the world of AI, right?
Right.
You have, honestly, you have to, adopt it, period,
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
form or fashion, right?
Yeah.
And we could get into that in a little bit, but I love that she's very innovative. One of the things she didn't mention is she did a little Amazon book on like Chat GPT, and it's
Mhm.
on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yep. So we'll add that information, below, especially on the YouTube side of things, so you guys can
Mhm.
check out some of her stuff as well. But yeah, things of that nature, being an innovator and thinking ahead of what's going on.
Right, and
So,
it hasn't even been a year since I wrote that book, and it's already things that have improved since then. So it's like you really have to stay on top of it and really indulge yourself to learn it because it's not going anywhere.
mm,
And all of this new technology, it helps you. A lot of people say, "Oh, if you got to use tools, you're not a good massage therapist. You should only be using your hands." Like, no, you're working too hard, and you're going to damage yourself if you continue to work like that. Using these tools are a great way to help for the longevity of your body, your hands, and everything else. And the clients love them. The clients absolutely love these tools. So
Mhm.
that's most important, because that could be your selling point that keeps them coming back.
And know how to use them. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back.
Please take the classes to
Take
learn
the
how to use it.
class to learn how to use these tools correctly. So, like I said, I was just at a conference this weekend. Every time and I see what y'all say in our Facebook group. Oh, they can't take over what we do. Oh yeah, they can. Because it
Oh
had me
yeah.
thinking. Because I was on one of those tables. It was an acupressure table from Korea.
Mm, mm,
You don't need to go to a chiropractor no more. They have those in their hospitals in Korea. They have
mm,
those in their chiropractors offices and medical
mhm,
offices in Korea. Like it's a way of health, period.
mhm,
Like a $7,000 table. So I'm like, do you guys travel? But those tables cost a lot to
mhm,
ship, right? And so this is just me thinking for you guys because I want you to see what's out here
mhm,
because it would be nice to have that table. Yeah, you'll pay a payment plan for it, right? If you're in business, you
mhm,
have to think business, right? So let's talk a bit about business and being innovative. If you have like
mhm,
one of those tables in another room, you charge
mhm,
it $50, $60. I think it's like a 40-minute program laying on that
mhm.
table. You charge that and then you up your personal rate at a premium, right? So you have two things going on at the same time.
Right.
You got to think that way, right? You got to be forward thinking and embrace technology. All right. So, one of the things, your role in the community. You're doing a lot in the community. So, one of the things, part of your role in the community is being my right hand for this conference, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the things, some of the tasks and things that I've been asking you to do, or things that you
Mhm,
realize the difficulties we're having in regards to some of our acts to have in this conference because it is a niche market, right? So this is a business, right? So we're a niche, is Black Massage Therapist Conference, right? And so let's talk about some of the things that we've been going through, good and bad,
mhm.
in getting this conference going.
So the biggest ask, or the biggest issue, or struggle that people were running into, is finances. So we made sure that this year we have a financial advisor here. We have how many people? Like two or three people that are
Finance of two,
two.
accountant
We
and
have two people that are here to give tips, tricks, hacks, advice, suggestions, help on fixing your finances. I myself have been through that struggle as well, because working with my athletes, I made so much money that it's like, oh, I could do this forever. But the truth is, I couldn't do it forever, because now I'm in the downward slope of, my health and my body, and a lot of things have been changing with me. So I had to make some pivots. And now it's like, oh, everybody else don't want to pay like they pay. So, my finances have been struggling. That's how I came to re-explore my education that I already had, to pick up where I'm lacking. So that's how I got back in paralegal. That's how I got into all of the other businesses that I'm into now, because you have to have a backup to your backup to your backup, especially in the financial economy that we're in today. They're going to do away with middle class. You're either going to be lower class or upper class, and you got to pick and choose which one you're going to jump on, because you're going to have multiple streams of income, several different hustles, and you're going to have to learn how to save. You're going to have to learn what a trust is and how to create one. You're going to have to learn to have more than just one bank account. And you're going to have a bank account that you don't have access to, but you can put money in, just can't take it out, because you're going to have to save for a rainy day. You're going to have to save for something here and there. It's good to learn about investing, but if you're not already good with your money, then I wouldn't suggest investing for you until you learn that process from a an expert in that field. But that is one of the biggest things. Um, and then another thing that I kept hearing is I don't like to be amongst my people, or it's too many black people in one spot, or, we have to get out of that mindset because that's a crabs in the barrel mindset. We have to support each other and we have to be there for each other. We have to depend on each other because every other race out here helps each other. When you see communities and you go in and you're seeing a Jewish community, they are strong together. When you go to like an Arab area and you see all these Indian people and they're all living in the same housing development, they're all supporting each other. They're all working for the same store and they have all these stores pop up, but they're supporting one another.
Right.
When it comes to us, we refuse. We will go shop somewhere else. But my biggest thing is I always tell people, don't just support black business because it's black business.
Right.
Support a good business that just happens to be black, because the difference between that is people are out here to hustle you and scam you. And unfortunately, it's our people doing that. But if you go to someone that is very professional and takes their business very serious and they go through the whole process and procedures and they have everything set up in systems, that's a good business that you would want to support. Because once you support the wrong one, now you're making it seem like all of us are bad and telling, oh, I can't support black people because of X, Y, and Z. Well, you just happen to support the wrong person. You have to do your research just like you would on anything else. And so two major things that I feel like we've kind of been working on to put in the space of supporting one another. Even to the point with our vendors, like we don't have just black vendors available because we want all the products that we can get our hands on and we want all the money and support that we can get from everybody. But when we go into that room, it's just us. When we go into these classrooms, it's just us, and we are supporting one another amongst each other.
Whew, she just preached. I don't need to say anything but yes and amen. Yes and amen. We're out here. I'm out here, right? So I am the face and I get it. I'm the face of it.
Mhm.
And so I get the brunt of it, right? So I hear it. And also I'm hearing it from it makes it hard to get those vendors and sponsors that I want for the conference, right? Because if
Mhm.
we have the crab in a barrel mentality, it makes it difficult for someone else outside of the community to help support and be an ally
Right.
and an advocate for what, people realize that it's not that many of us in the industry. People realize some of the hardships, but we have to be the first to support each other, right?
Right.
And we have to be the first to build up our community. No one's going to build up our community if we don't, right? And
Right.
that's why gentrification happens,
Right.
right? Because we allow others to come into our communities and build it up, and then they kick us out. I'm
Right.
from New York. It's happened in Harlem. Harlem is unrecognizable to me now. When I went
Mhm.
back home last year, I was like, it. So
Yeah.
we have to support each other, and
Mhm.
if not, who is who
Right.
is right? So that's one of the things that I really wanted her to speak on. So as we end this, is there any educational resources or books, courses you would recommend for ongoing professional development?
Um, Take classes. Do your research on the classes. Like I said before, don't just take one class and automatically think you're an expert in something. You have to take multiple classes. During the pandemic, I sat myself down and I was lucky enough to run across this guy just retired from overseas basketball. He was prepping for a knee surgery because it's his third meniscus tear. And so I was like, I need to prepare myself for this, like, because I took the AMTA sports massage and it only taught me one thing. Now, no shade against them or anything like that, but the instructor literally wasted 8 hours of my day talking about the rotator cuff. So I know more than what I need to know about the rotator cuff. But you had online classes too that you could take. And so I'm like, well, since I had to take all these online classes, I might as well find something else that can help me go through more than just one area of the body that I could treat for sports. And so that's when I went to this website, Integrative Healthcare. Integrative Healthcare literally has anything, any modality that you can think about that you would want to take. And you can take it online, but during the pandemic, you could take all these classes online. But now, I don't. States are different about how they want you to submit your hours or whatever. But they send you books, they send you DVDs, but for you to view videos. But they have online videos as well. I highly recommend that you at least buy the book so that you have a physical reference to go off of, because that's what molded me into the sports person that I am today, because I felt like I needed more than what I was given. And as long as you have these books to reference, especially like if it's something that you've never worked on before, you go to these books, you get somebody to allow you to work on them, and you go and you work on them until you get it before you go touching this client. And that's kind of what moves me along. It helps me so much. And that's pretty much what got me to where I am today.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. And so,
Welcome.
a little bit of things that I wanted just to go over briefly. So, about the conference, we have
Mhm.
t-shirts that's available online that says Black Massage Therapist Conference. No, what does it say on the front? I am Black History. And and it
Black
says,
massage.
and on the back it says Black Massage Therapist. So I am Black History, and then on the back, so that's on our website. Also, the hotel information is on the website, right? So you can go and you get a discounted rate because it's at a hotel. It's at the Hilton Charlotte Airport Hotel, and so
Mhm,
it's discounted. So you could get king or queens, and so based
mhm,
off the dates that you're going to be staying.
mhm,
Also, student grants. So if you know a student or you are a student, we have a student grant. We have a palpation. I'm messing up the name right now. Palpation prep or prep palpation. I'm sorry. School
mhm,
that is provided a student grant. Therefore, it's paying for you to attend the conference. We're not paying for hotels or your flight
mhm,
or anything like that. It's paying for you to attend the conference. So if you fill that application, that is also on the website. Last but not least, we were finally blessed with another business grant, $1,000 business grant from ABMP. They're one of our sponsors. So you fill that application online as well. And so we have questions. So just because you fill out the application don't mean that you qualify. So
right.
we have specific questions that we want, and because we want to see where you are in your business and where you're trying to take your business. And
Mhm,
so we will announce that the grant winner for the student will be announced first because
mhm,
they're going to attend. But
right.
the grant winner for the business will be announced at the conference like we did last year. Right, Toya? So we had a nice cute check with your name on
Yes.
it and so forth. So please, please, please go to our website, www.blackmassagetherapist.com. Very easy, right? All the information about the conference is on there, your speakers, and our networking group that we meet once a month on the second Monday in the evening. All that information is on the website. So once again, thank you for joining us for our first Need to Connect podcast. Toya, thank you so much for being a great interviewee and also my support system with this conference. I
Yes.
appreciate you. I'm so proud of you. I always call her my mini me because she's out there hustling. She's just on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, but she's doing a lot, and I'm proud, and I can't wait to see where she is going to be in the next couple of years. So everyone, you have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.